You may have heard of the place I'm about to investigate. It's featured in films like Shawshank Redemption and Air Force One. It's one of the biggest places that IPRA has investigated to date.
Construction started in 1886 and it was finished at a cost of about $1.3 million in 1896. At that point it was opened up and about 150 men, actually I should say boys, were sent up from the Ohio State Penitentiary in Columbus to hear my training.
At the same time, in between me asking the question and getting the answer, I kind of felt like something had touched my head. We had seen sort of a dark mist flow into the cell that we were sitting in, so.
I see a shadow the size of me block out the light, go past that, and then go running around the stairs, and then down the stairs right in front of me without making a noise or any wind or anything.
Where are you at? Can you make a sound to tell us where you're at?
A little bit.
It's over there is where it's creepy, but over here it feels like that there's still several inmates in these things, you know what I mean?
On the special episode, Secrets of the Paranormal, we're investigating Mansfield Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio.
Do ghosts exist? Is there a whole other world around us? We are out to find answers.
This is the Ohio State Reformatory, originally designed, and the architect was Levi T. Schofield. He originally started in 1884. Construction started in 1886, and it was finished at a cost of about $1.3 million in 1896. At that point, it was opened up, and about 150 men, actually I should say boys, were sent up from the Ohio State Penitentiary in Columbus to hear my training. At that point, they started construction on a few of the outbuildings, and also the east cell block was prisoner built, which was finished around 1915/16. And prison stayed open until about December 31st, 1990. By that point, about 155,000 men and boys came to this place, the average age being about late teens, early 20s. It was originally designed for a reformatory school before they would send a first-time offender directly to the main penitentiary. During that time, the place got so self-sufficient that they had their own powerhouse, slaughterhouses, canneries, wood shop, clothing factories, to the point where they were so good at it and so much surplus that they were supplying other institutions for Ohio too. So not only was this a no-cost facility to run, but they were also saving money for other facilities too. We're in the west diagonal wing right now on the third floor, which would have been the visitation room. Central guard room was also a visitation room, but that would have been like a picnic lunch in the early days where, say, your family comes up, they bring you a picnic lunch, they hang out with you at a table at the central guard room. I think it was Mondays through Saturdays, no Sunday visitations. but you had to either be a parent, a direct sibling, or married. No girlfriends, no second cousins, and you can't just visit a friend there. Anyways, later on, they had visitation to this wing where you would have to check in at the front office downstairs, come through the central guard room, and you would come in through this way. The prisoners would come in from the back through solitary confinement, and they would get searched on the way back down to make sure that you didn't bring any contraband in. This is one of our creepier areas. People get a lot of EVPs here. You got that one. You asked how many guards were here. Well, the answer 5.
Yeah, it was actually on the level below us. We were sitting in a cell one night, and I just had done a good 15-20 minute EVP session and asked how many guards work on this floor. And probably a 10-15 second pause before I heard 5. Of course, didn't hear it with my own ears, but when I played the tape back, that was on there. Also, at the same time, in between me asking the question and getting the answer, I kind of felt like something had touched my head. And, we had seen sort of a dark mist flow into the cell that we were sitting in. So, that was always kind of neat. On the first floor, we've had more activity than that. I've been poked down there. I've been pushed. I've had my ankle grabbed.
Also down there, we've gotten plenty of footsteps. I did Sunday tours before I got into doing the night shift thing here. Plenty of times I've been down there at 10 in the morning to go turn the lights on and hear footsteps just a few feet behind me. There's another time where I was down in the bullpen, which is just outside of solitary confinement, with the door shut to solitary. I'm sitting in a chair by myself. I've got the whole cell block to myself. I'm the only one in the building. Hard sole shoes walk right up behind me to the point where I turn around and look and the door shut behind me. I couldn't explain that one. Second floor solitary that we were just talking about. It was 4th of July last year at the volunteers picnic. After watching the fireworks up on the roof at the speed of down the road, of course we're going to spend a few minutes wandering around in the dark down here on our way through. At that point, most of the people went on the far side of solitary confinement, and being odd from the group, I took the other way around, and since there was nobody in front of me to slow me down, I was the first one down to the end by the stairs. Standing there waiting, I got my flashlight, just the glass block wall in front of me for a little bit of light. I see a shadow the size of me block out the light, go past that, and then go running around the stairs, and then down the stairs right in front of me without making a noise or any wind or anything.
One of the bad things about being on this cell block is the tiers are open, so it was very easy to get tossed over the railing to the point where they wrapped the whole cell block in chain link fence. These 21 cells have been redone, or were redone for us back in 2001 when Godsmack did the Awake video here.
Let's see, 593 cells. Still holds the world record for the largest freestanding steel cell block in the world, which means you can take the outer building away from this place and the cell block is its own structure.
This here is the West cell block. Our original cell block finished up in 1896. This is our little cell block. It's 5 tiers high.
East side was probably the bad side. New guys, troublemakers, that type of thing over here. These guys would have been locked down 23 hours a day, 1 shower a week. It was brutal over here. You would definitely try to get out of this side as quickly as you could with a good job somewhere else in the yard and make your way over to the west cell block as soon as you could. Welcome to the original wing of solitary confinement. This is considered the end of the west diagonal on the second floor.